Today we are going to discuss the new X-ray diffraction method that is known as rotating crystal method. So in the previous lecture we have discussed about the Laws method of X-ray diffraction. So major drawback of the Laws diffraction method was that it cannot determine the lattice parameter. So hence it cannot determine the crystal structure of particular that single crystal under scrutiny. So therefore we move on to the further method, that is the rotating crystal method. So in this method the wavelength of X-ray will be fixed, and it will be monochromatic. Monochromatic means that mono means single and chromatic means color. So we know that color has a fixed wavelength, therefore it will be fixed wavelength. So and this will be made by using the filter which are composed of copper, nickel, molybdenum, etc. And we will take a single crystal which have the dimensions 1 millimeter into 1 millimeter into 1 millimeter. So and a monochromatic X-ray is made to incident on this single crystal. So this is the setup. So we are taking a hollow cylindrical holder, and on these balls there will be photographic film. So therefore it is acting as a camera, because diffraction pattern will be obtained on this photographic film. So the single crystal is placed on this rotating spindle. The spindle rotating means the orientation of crystal is the crystal is being oriented into different direction, means its angle, that is theta, is changing continuously. So this monochromatic X-ray is focused by using this collimator on this single crystal. Crystal is orienting in different direction, therefore we will have different diffraction or reflection of X-rays in different directions. So this is undeviated X-ray, means it is not reflected by this single crystal. And so now as this X-ray is incident on this, because we know that this single crystal is composed of parallel planes, crystal planes that having parallel planes. So the underlying law which is governing this X-ray diffraction is Bragg's law. So Bragg's condition should be satisfied, only then we get a diffraction pattern. So this Bragg's condition is should always be satisfied. So I have said that there are so many parallel planes. So when for particular time instant your plane is parallel to this axis of rotation, so there will be, so let us consider that we have lattice parameters A, B and C. So let us consider that C lattice crystallographic axis is parallel along this axis of rotation. So if this is parallel, so then this is C is parallel to along axis of this rotation, then this another A and B, they are like this, so they are making a plane. So this will create a layer, this is known as a zero layer. This is creating as a layer, this is known as a zero layer. So since we know that this ABC particular have particular Miller indices H, K, L, these are Miller indices. So now I am assuming that you are familiar with the Miller indices and you know that how to calculate the Miller indices. I am assuming that. So therefore this crystallographic parameter or crystallographic axis will have Miller indices. So now if this C parameter is parallel to this axis of rotation, so on the photographic film you get this diffraction pattern. So this is known as a zero layer, that means this is a horizontal plane. So in case if C is parallel to this axis of rotation. So now according to Miller indices, so this is zero layer because for C the Miller indices will be L, so L will be 0. because this is parallel, so this is not intersecting to this axis, so means it will intersect at infinity, so there it will be 0 because h k l is given by 1 by a, 1 k will be 1 by b, and L will be 1 by c. So c is parallel, so this will it is intersecting at infinity, so therefore it will be 1 by infinity, so this will be 0. So therefore this is 0 layer, so therefore this is hk 0. So therefore this is known as 0 layer. So this L here is equal to 0. This is 0. So when this crystal plane will be parallel to this axis of rotation. So another case, if your crystal plane is inclined to this direction of this X-ray. So in case for inclined, so diffraction pattern will be like this. So for this your middle indices will be hk1, so L will be +1 like this, and if your crystal planes, that is C, is declined, it is declined to the X-ray diffraction. If this is declined like this, declined, so therefore this diffraction pattern will be like this, and another layer is formed like this. This will decline, so therefore this will be HKI. So for this is positive direction, this will be positive, so this is downward direction, this is negative. So in case of a negative, your Miller indices, this is written as -1, this is 1 var, this is a -1, so this is for downward direction. So therefore how this is determined, so therefore we from here we have determined this C. So this is 0 layer, this is 1, this is second layer in the negative direction. So therefore distance between these layer, it depends upon the lattice points along this C axis. So therefore this C can be determined by using putting into this C sine theta and lambda. So therefore, because what I have said that distance between these layer depends upon the distance between the lattice points along this C axis. So therefore distance is this 2d is equal to C. So therefore from here C can be determined. So means I have determined the C. So similarly, by mounting this crystal along for particular direction, if I am taking this C, then for second time I will take A along this axis, and for third time I will take this B along this axis of rotation. Therefore I will determine the ABC. So if I have determined ABC, so then I can calculate the crystallographic density. Then by using the crystallographic density, I can determine what is unit cell, what is your crystal structure. So therefore I have overcome the main drawback of Lawes method, that is how to determine the crystal structure. So this is the major benefit of this rotating crystal method. One important thing is here is that since I have told that these are layers, this is 0 layer, this is a positive layer, this is second, that is you can say negative layer. So these lines I have drawn, these lines are known as layer lines. These are known as layer lines. And this is your diffraction pattern which is obtained on this your photographic film. So earlier I have said this is acting as a camera. Why this is acting as a camera? Because we are kind of taking a diffraction pattern is a kind of a picture on the photographic film. So therefore this whole cylindrical setup is known as your optical camera.